Recruiter here, getting you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resumes. The resume we have up first is a principal software engineer, and I use that in quotation marks because I have found that the difference between a principal, a staff, a lead, and a bunch of other titles there's no difference because every single company has a different definition of it. So what we are looking for in a principal software engineer, and I'm going to make an assumption with this could be incorrect, that you are looking for a lead position where you are leading other engineers, is going to be some leading, and the rest of it just needs to be basically the same amount of stack that I need. So as I've started the last couple of videos with a random software engineer, which is if people do not tell me what software engineer you are, I have to guess which stack you are, and that almost always leads to rejection. So for this one, I am going to talk about what we need for leads, which is, again, I need to see that you have led others, done code reviews, talked to stakeholders, that kind of stuff. But beyond that, I also need to see that you meet a stack, even for mostly language agnostic roles sometimes. If you do not, then you are probably going to get rejected. So can I find that in 20 seconds? And go. Can't use anything here. Oh, I cannot highlight anything. Scale the domestic offshore engineering team from 2 to 12, 10 people. That's actually pretty solid. Kilometers, Microsoft, Zoom, Service, Organization, listed. Framework, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Okay. This is your first sentence is the only thing that actually saves your resume. I don't think this is great. But also, you did not tell me you're looking for director roles. Director roles are different. So let me read what you wrote, because you wrote me like 12 paragraphs. So I'm going to read this verbatim unless there's any personal information. Is that the case? We'll see. So of the interviews I've had, all have gone to the second interview with either leadership or the engineering team, CTOs. I felt I've been doing well in the interviews, but that's another topic altogether. That is, yes. I fear my production technology use is becoming a blocker for some just skimming. I don't think that matters. I don't think they even understand what that is. I feel my breadth of experience is off-putting to some. You don't show you have any experience. That's the problem. It's not breadth. Also, if you're applying for a principal role, but you're a director, they're probably not going to move forward with you. Titles, again, don't really matter. They mean nothing, but people assume they matter. And why would a director apply to a principal? Again, this is the problem you get with titles. I probably should have 2 resumes, one for IC and one for more leadership roles. Yes, you should. IC is individual contributor. That is basically any non-management role. So if you hear anybody say IC role, it means not management. There's more to it, but that's the gist of it. And you should have 2 interviews, two resumes for it. Okay, some of the titles roles have applied to: product engineer, full stack, staff software engineer, SDK, which is agentic, technical lead, DevOps engineer. Yeah, those are all different. Those are all different resumes. The reason you're getting some luck is your happenstance into those. Also, this resume is scrubbed of almost everything I would need. Except for it is a actually really solid leadership bullet, which is your first bullet under your director of engineering. That is actually a really good bullet point, and I'm giving you props for that. Here's the blurb I've been giving to recruiters when we talk about what I'm looking for. No recruiter I have engaged with has reached out after initial discovery call, because your resume is unknown, right? Your resume has so much potential, and then they talk to you and they realize that you do not meet the specific qualifications that we need. Jobs require specific things. If a job asks you for everything or anything and they're accepting anything, it's either entry level or probably incorrect, and they will change their mind later. So for recruiters, what you're looking for. All right, let's see if this is something that's doable in the market. Individual contributor management roles. Okay, so IC or management, that's fine. Fully remote, that's going to be issues. Open to considering on-site hybrid. Yeah, that's going to be a big problem. Most of these roles are mostly going to be on-site. Interested in a wide range of domains. Again, AI, augmented reality, SaaS. You're so non-specific. This is the problem. You did not be specific. Be specific with your resume. I need a resume for SaaS services. I need a resume for DevOps. I need a resume for AI, and I need a resume for IC roles, and I need a resume for management. This is 5 resumes Frankenstein into a monster, right? Or Frankenstein's monster. This is bad. This is why you're having trouble. Hard no domains. Financial services such as crypto. Well, I agree with you in that. I'm not a big fan of crypto. Gambling, props. Gambling is not good. Ad tech. Ad tech is the one I'm interested about, because the other two I get. Ad tech is... I'd like to know more about why you don't want that. Small to medium companies, preferably under 150 people. Bro, why? Okay, so you want like startups. Yeah, a lot of those are going to be on site. But willing to consider larger for the right opportunity. Minimum 150K, which is actually doable based on your level of experience. Tough, but doable in this market. And benefits and open to startup Series A and beyond. Yeah, you think you're maybe in a different market, right? Like, the problem I have with this resume is not that your experience is too good or anything. It's that you've told me practically nothing. Like, what do I know about you from this resume, right? You've worked with SaaS, and you've scaled on a domestic and offshore engineering team. And you've worked a little bit with cloud infrastructure. That's it. That's all I know. That's all I know from this. This is the problem. You have absolutely nothing here that I would need. If I'm looking for agentic, I don't see any agentic. If I'm looking for full stack, I don't see that. If I'm even looking for an agnostic role, your projects are too broad that they don't tell me exactly what you did. Your problem is you are, again, and you have correctly identified it, that you have stapled together like 5 different resumes into one. You need separate resumes for each of these. So you need a resume for management and directing. You need a resume for IC roles, and depending on the stack you're going, for a DevOps, for I'm blanking on what I just said because there's so much here. So maybe specifically for AWS or something. So yeah, your biggest problem with this resume is that, again, it's not that your breadth of experience is off-putting. It's that you have so much and so little. You cannot be a jack of all trades. You have to be specific with your resume. You have to. Also, your degree should be up at the top, and your summary should not exist. But what you're looking for is possible, and the problem is I would have had a client that could have maybe be interested in this, but their locations they're doing on site. So if you're going for fully remote, with this resume, you're going to have problems because this is too much. Like, the people that are looking at that are going to look at this and say, oh, you have some leadership, but you don't have enough. Or, oh, you have some AI, but it's not enough. Oh, you have some SOC stuff, but it's not enough. And that's your big problem, is you're not being specific. So it's really all I can do for this, because this is like one thing, and this is a problem with generalized resumes, right? If anybody's still watching that's not a software engineer, this is why you're having trouble, is a generalized resume doesn't work. And I've seen people do that. I've seen people apply to recs I have had that have been like blue collar role that we needed 5 things and they only had one of them because they listed 20 other things that are irrelevant. So when I'm talking about things that are irrelevant, it's this resume specifically. And based on your experience, I think you actually might be able to get what you want. It's going to be tough in this market, but it is doable. It's just not necessarily with this resume, unless you meet another recruiter and they have a role for it. But yeah, I understand why you are getting a lot of recruiter reach outs. So you have a little bit of everything, and then they meet you and they're like, okay, it's not specific enough, you're gone. And that's the problem. So if anybody else ever needs more help, you can always join the live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. Or, you can message me in the comments and I can try to help. Please like, comment, and subscribe. But we're going to the next resume because that's about all I can really do for this one. This is a resume of a systems administrator, which is also a help desk, which is also IT support. They go by like 50 names, but they're all the same job. So what we need for whatever they want to call this is Mac or Linux or Android or Windows. Ideally more or all of them, but if you only have some of them, that's okay. But I do need to see your environment. I need to see that you have education, so probably college and maybe a CompTIA. That's a bonus. I need to see that you have done customer service, you have troubleshooting, problem solving, networking, you've done something from the networking list, that you can multitask, meet deadlines. Then I need the industry, and this is where I'm not going to be fully aware of all of these, is just like Azure help desk is going to be different than LAN WAN, is going to be different than CRM versus a SaaS. Jira, Microsoft Office, you need Microsoft Office. Half your job will be installing and creating issues with Microsoft Office, so you better have that in there. Active Directory, and then like I said, some of those for a bonus. So can we find what I need in 20 seconds, which is all the time we have? Let's go. Okay, so where's your education? Okay, so you probably wouldn't be qualified. You do have a CompTIA. So automated Linux workstation, provisioning using Bash. I don't need that. I need Linux, though. Color, what is this? Why do I care about this? This is not related to what I need. This is not related to what I need. This is not related to what I need, and this is not related except for Active Directory. So, in this entire thing, I have found 3 things I need. I found Linux, I found Active Directory, and I found a bonus, which is CompTI. So technically 2 things. This is why you're getting rejected. You said, we don't know your ratio and you didn't leave me any notes, but this is why you're having issues is you put it up here. And again, I cannot use anything that's up there. So formatting wise, switch to this. Again, it's more readable. It's not the worst formatting, to be clear, but it could be a lot better. But a bigger issue is your bullet points are garbage, right? Like, these are terrible bullet points. I even missed this, right? I missed this because you filled in so many other numbers, my eyes glazed over it. So this is the problem with these numbers. Stop putting these percentages everywhere in your resume. You know who could use numbers? People like the first person to show the amount of people they led. That is an okay use of numbers. You know what's a terrible use of numbers? Everything you're doing here. And in fact, 300 tickets monthly, this is why you shouldn't even include that, is that impressive? Because that might not be impressive if you're expected to do that per week. Why would I move forward if our base is 300 per week, even if they're easier tickets? You have filled your resume with stuff that I do not need because you assumed that I could use this, which I can't. It needs to be here. You need to show me how you do it. Like, automated Linux workstation provisioning is fine, but then I don't care about bash scripts. I don't care about setup time and configuration errors, and I don't care about your percentage, okay? So what you need to do, and I'm not doing this to be mean, all right? I'm not saying you are garbage. I'm saying your resume is. You need to stop trying to impress me. I'm not going to be impressed. I just want to see the basics that you've done, right? Like, this actually could get you rejected because this is not enough of what they want. So you should not include numbers unless you are forced to. People doing leadership do, but stop with these percentages. They mean nothing and they hurt your chances of getting a job. So, like, this is hardened. What do you mean hardened? I don't know what that means. Why would I need that? And if somebody is hiring a systems admin or a help desk support and they're a smaller company, they don't know any of this stuff. In fact, where do I see that you troubleshot anything? I don't know. I don't know what your SLA is. I assume that's going to be surface level agreements or something. But again, they may not know that. You have written your resume as somebody who has gone through a CompTI cert to the point where people that have not gone through it do not know what you're talking about. So again, stop with these numbers. Stop with these percentages. And then just write how you used this stuff. Because that's it. That's all we need is this stuff in here written like this without the numbers. And you will be getting tons more interviews. Next, resume. This is a resume of, I don't know, they just said software engineer. When you're applying to be a software engineer, you need to be specific. Again, the roles are full stack, front end, back end Python, back end C#, back end Java. And yes, there are more, but those are the 5 most common. And if your resume is not tailored to a particular stack, you are probably going to get rejected. This person's ratio, which is how many applications it takes to get an interview, is about 150 applications plus to 1, so it's not a good ratio at all. And they did not tell me. So I'm going to randomly guess that this is a C# developer. What do I have to say that? I don't know, but that's the problem. You did not tell me. So what we're looking for in a C#.NET dev is .NET, C#, SQL, Cloud, MVS, Git, Agile, RESTful API, CI/CD, front end. I don't know why they went front end, but they do. Cross-functional, DevOps, and ASP.NET. Can I find it in 20 seconds? No, I don't think I'm going to because their ratio is terrible, and this is what happened. So, go. All right, Micron. What? Okay, this is not related. Not related at all. Not related at all. Not related, not related. Not related, not related, and nothing. This has absolutely nothing I need. So, I'm not sure what did I get the wrong resume? Let me check it. Maybe I opened up, nope, this is the right resume. I did not open up the wrong resume. Yeah, this is, oh, I see. Wait. All the way at the bottom, they have like 2 projects. Okay, so here's what we need to do. I want you to take this resume, I want you to right-click it, and I want you to delete it, and I want you to start again. And I want you to put in things that are actually relevant to the role. So the order of importance in your resume is relevancy first above all. Then it is work experience, then it is internships, and then it is projects. But what this person did is, this is not relevant at all. None of this is relevant to the role of a software engineer. And because none of this is relevant to a software engineer, it goes below the projects, because this person did not get an internship, nor do they have any work experience that is related. So that is the order, is relevancy first. Then, if it's relevant, work experience. Then if it's relevant, internships. Then if it's relevant, projects. And if you have none of those, then you're going to have a problem getting any job. But this has nothing I need. Like, yeah, it's a problem that they had boosting operational efficiency by 30%, but a bigger thing is none of this is related. The only reason I would want you to keep this, and it wouldn't even be the rest of this right down here, it would just be this right here, so that it shows that you can work the same job for a while, which they do like. So they will see that you've done a lead local security and you've been there for about 3 years. That is a green flag. That is actually a green flag to companies. That part is relevant, but it can still be put under your projects, or at least at the very, is you put it up at the top, but don't write anything else under it and then go into the projects. So this is a green flag because you were there for 3 years. The rest of this is irrelevant and should be deleted and has absolutely nothing to do with what I need. Then the education should be up at the top. And then you actually have to put, again, how you did, what you did, and the reason or result of it. So, again, this might be a very quick video because there's really nothing I can do with this, because how do you tell somebody to remake something that has nothing that is relevant? And that is what they're going to see, nothing that is relevant. So, when you remake this, I want you to remember with these qualifications, or maybe Python qualifications, or full stack qualifications. Pick a stack, and you can let me know in the video which one you're aiming for. I can give you my stack list. That's fine. But make it relevant, because this is actually what most resumes look like. This is why most resumes get rejected, is someone will apply with this resume to a software engineer position, and yeah, it doesn't matter what you've actually done, is this screams that you have done nothing related to software engineering, and why would I hire somebody that's a software engineer who hasn't done software engineering? Next resume. This is a resume of a software engineer intern. So what we need for a software engineer intern is pretty basic. You need the same thing for every single intern. Every single intern needs your degree, the ability to work well with others, that you can take direction and criticism, and whatever your industry stuff is. In this case, I think this person said full stack, so it's just going to be like TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, SQL, and RESTful API. If I see that, you're good. So what did this person have? They have a 1 in 75 ratio, which is okay. Could be a little bit better. Again, that's like D+. But let's see what we can do to fix it. So, can I find this in 20 seconds? Let's go. Formatting's bad. All right. Let's go. This isn't related. Can't use anything here. Develop Spark Theory, a full stack relationship app with Next, PostStage, TypeScript, and okay, good. Build Scripty. Oh my gosh, this is okay. Agents is nice to have. 15% to React Flash. Okay. This is not terrible, but oh my gosh, this formatting is hurting you so much. Your bullet points are actually okay, but there's like no way anybody's going to get to them. So I'm looking for internships at big companies. So here's what you need to do. Fix your formatting. Make it look like this. If you notice, look at this. There's no skill section. Skill sections are bad. This should be deleted. This relevant coursework should be deleted. This should be on one line and not bolded. Nothing here should be bolded. Otherwise, if you just make those changes, your ratio will already go up. Because your bullet points are actually okay. Again, they could be better, but they're not terrible. This is not a reject, delete everything. So developed blank, which is fine, a full stack relationship app using or with Next.js, PostgreSQL, Node.js, TypeScript is good. I'd actually look for that. I would personally prefer that you put in like TypeScript and HTML and CSS, as that's really important for full stack. You need to put JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. I don't care how basic it is, you need it. But this actually has some of the stuff that I want. I don't care about this part. This has nothing I need and doesn't really matter, although maybe they'd like some of the agentic stuff. Again, that's the new hotness in the market right now. But this has nothing I need. And then here is actually okay. Again, I'm really looking for ability to work well with others and taking direction and criticism. So leading is not necessarily what I'm looking for, but at least it does imply that you can work with other people. So again, this is like I think I was correct, is once you fix the formatting, this will probably be a C resume. So yeah, you need to simplify this. Again, this is hard to read because of how difficult this is. Simplify this stuff. Make it to the stack we actually are looking for full stack. So again, like a full stack would be TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Those are the most important things. And then it goes to React, SQL, and other stuff. But if you do not have TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, you are probably going to get rejected because that is something they really, 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 really want to see. And remember, we cannot use anything in a skills section, so don't have it. But again, overall, I want to state that it's okay, okay? You are on the right idea. Like this down here, designed a Dockerized RESTful fast API backend for a multi-agent AI voice assistant, and then how you wrote that is perfect. I don't care about this part, but you can say for consumers with disabilities. So again, you've done some really solid stuff. I think your main problem is just formatting and getting a bit too technical with some of the stuff. And this goes, like, even if you are a PhD candidate, you still want to make sure your resume is very basic. Like, I'm not joking here, but a goal of your resume should be, especially if you're in tech, is to find somebody who does not know how to turn on their monitor and calls you for help. And if they can find what they need in it, you have a successful resume. So again, I'd say D plus resume. Fix the formatting, change a little bit of the sentences, and you'll have like a B plus A resume. Let's go to the next one. This is a resume of a mergers and acquisitions analyst, or an M&A analyst. So what we're looking for is not a ton. I need a degree in money, in this case, accounting or finance or something, or economics. Basically, if your degree directly implies you deal with money, that is a degree they are going to be looking for. Corporate development or financial analysis. Basically, you have some past experiences that. Microsoft Office, this is critical. This was actually the most common qualification, which was Excel and PowerPoint. So I want to see some macros. I want to see pivot tables. I want to see PowerPoint and maybe Word. Yes, you need that. It's absolutely critical. I will fight you on that point. That was in almost every single job. Financial modeling was in every one as well. I need to see some financial modeling. I need to see that you can multitask and produce quality work within tight deadlines. Basically, can you handle multiple things and deadlines and meet them? And did you interact with stakeholders? So can I find this in 20 seconds? Well, too early. What is this person's ratio, by the way? They are unknown. All right, and go. Trades, AI, multiple client accounts. Okay. It's almost what I'm looking for. And yeah, this would be a decline. So again, the only thing you used Excel for was task management. I would need more. I also don't see PowerPoint. I know you're probably raging right now because you've used AI agents in that stuff, but the most common qualifications were financial modeling, Excel, and PowerPoint. Those were in almost every single job. Those are the most critical for this role. So I'm pivoting from comp side to finance. I'm currently focusing on sell side. I don't know what that is, but right now I will take any job. I don't want to do master's or MBA right now. Don't blame you. We'll pursue only after getting some work. Does that put me in at a disadvantage? It's not a disadvantage. It's just, again, this is kind of a weird, easy position. It's just I need to see what I need to see, and I don't see it. I don't see any financial modeling. I don't see that you have used Excel besides one little thing. I don't see that you have dealt with money as much. I know this sort of implies it, but I need it very explicit. You also don't, again, the big problem with this resume is you imply you have the skills, you don't show me. So, monitored real-time trades executive by companies' AI trading bots for multiple client accounts, ensuring accuracy and compliance with trading strategies. That's not really what I'm looking for, right? Like, your resume is like LaCroix. and that it's like a flavor was placed in the same room when you were bottling it, which also I really like LaCroix, so I could say that. I would love a sponsorship by LaCroix. But that's where like the flavor is in this, is you're implying, you're sort of alluding to the fact, I need you to say, handled multiple trades for our company, financial trades, right? For multiple accounts, meeting all deadlines for those trades. I need you to be very explicit, all right? Your resume can't be LaCroix. LaCroix, please sponsor me. I swear, it's such a great metaphor for this. So, and that is kind of the problem in everything here, right? Is that you sort of imply, you allude to what you've done. Is you applied Excel for task management. I want to see used Excel to create pivot tables and macros, translate those into PowerPoints, which I showed our stakeholders. So this is where your problem is again, you're overdoing it. You're trying to think this is some crazy master, you need to be the best ever, when we're not looking for that. And this happens for most every role, is every candidate overcomplicates it. They think we're looking for like created Google at 12 billion valuation, when we're not. We're looking for, do you have a degree in money or related money? Do you have any financial analysis skills? Have you used Excel and PowerPoint? Have you done financial modeling? Have you multitasked and produced that work within deadlines? And have you interacted with stakeholders? And you show me almost none of that. Again, you say Excel, but you don't really show me how or the reason or result of it. And the only one that I actually like here is this. Because you at least mention the stakeholder, which is the CIO, and that what you did. I don't need the rest of this one as much, but I need it more. So yeah, this is why your resume is failing, is you're alluding to it. Again, you're trying to impress me. I can kind of now tell when candidates are trying to impress me, and it never works. I don't need to be impressed. I don't care about model for 6.9 billion private whatever. I just care, did you do financial modeling? So don't make your resume like LaCroix. The actual things we want need to be there. I need you to have a giant explosion of flavor, not hint and allude to it. So that's all I can do for this resume. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. If you ever need more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlesshunter. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your friends and family that need help. I will be glad to help them. And, I will see you all in the next video to help you get ahead of your job search.